Good day, everyone. Welcome back to Clean Cut EDC. And at last, we are taking a look at the Jango from Pickled Steel. Yes, I've had this knife about 2 months now, and I'm pretty confident that I do know what I like, what I don't like, and yeah, also just how it performs, the experience I've had with it in pocket. It's it's a damn cool knife, I've got to say. Now, let's just get this out of the way. It does come with a pouch, yes, and we do get extra hardware, pocket clips, screws, torque spit, microfiber cloth. That's quality, guys, right? I think this guy goes for about 700 Rand. You get a pouch, you get extra hardware, you get a little cloth, right? And you get a knife for 700 Rand. That's an absolute steal. I don't know of another company that offers you that value. Now, I'm not sure if it's 700 Rand. I'll just put it up if to confirm. But yes, either way, it is fantastic value for money. So when I first saw this knife, right, I was like, yeah, it's cool. I like it. But I think there's some other knives from Pickled Steel that's probably going to be a little bit more popular. That probably looks a little bit better. That's probably a little bit, you know, just a cooler knife, right? Than this guy. But man, oh man, has this thing become exceptionally popular amongst Pickled Steel fans. People are going crazy over their Jangos. And there's a few reasons why I feel that is. And we'll discuss them here in the video. We'll run this knife through and do a little bit of an overview. But man, I can just tell you, it is really good. So if you want to stop the video right here and just know this is a fantastic knife, then just know that. There are a few things that I think they can improve on. But let's talk about the Pickled Steel Jango. So one of the main reasons why I think it became so popular is that they actually offer this knife in three different versions. So they've got this one, which is the budget version and is terrific value for money. G10 scales, 14C 28N blade steel. Basic, in a sense, basic budget material. Then they've got the premium one, which is a M390 blade and titanium frame lock, and that's going to run you about 2,750 Rand. And then they've got basically the same one as the premium version, a titanium M390, but with a lightning anodized finish on the scales, which just looks absolutely ridiculous, man. It looks so freaking cool. And they only made 20 of them, so it is an exclusive or limited edition. And I think they will be 2,995 Rand. But today we are talking about the baseline or the budget range on the Jango. And yes, so let's run this knife through and see what we've got. We've got a pretty standard blade shape. If you look at it like that, pretty standard blade shape, a little bit of a drop point style, but got a nice straight edge, a little bit of a belly, fine tip. Not it is slightly reinforced, the tip there, got a little bit of support behind it, but it's not overly supported like well, not overly, but extra supported, like for instance, what can we use as an example? Let's say the Kubi, yeah, the Kubi Royal. You got that bevel that leads all the way towards the tip and creates that sort of a tri support behind this tip. So yes, but we'll be able to do some fine cutting tasks and do all the little stuff that your tip needs to do. I won't be too worried about it breaking at all. I think it's got a lot of support behind it, so that's just okay. Yes, then we've got a bead blasted finish on the spine and the stop switch here, and then a bead blasted finish on the flat grind of the actual blade. And then we've got a belt satin finish on the switching over here, this flat portion. And obviously then we don't have a full flat grind. We've got a flat grind, but it is a saber grind. However, I haven't really felt this knife, you know, uh, underperform in the area of slicing. This is very, very slicey. Nice fin behind the edge, and just the overall durable blade. You can also just see the way it looks. It just looks strong, right? It just looks durable, and it definitely is. Got a little bit of a choil here for your sharpening purposes, and then a very functional, very well done plunge grind there. Yes, very nice. Got our Pickled Steel logo, Jango 14C28N. Now, let's first talk about this blade steel. 14C28N has been my most used blade steel for 2023. And man, with regards to Pickled Steel, when it comes to 14C28N, I would love to test it against something like a S35VN blade steel, right? Because from a different company. Because the heat treat on this 14C28N is it is out of this world, man. It's it's so good. I've got this knife over here, the Akal from Pickled Steel, but the G10 version. And man, I will tell you one thing. That knife has been through it this year. It is my most used knife, and I'm moving right now, right? I'm moving just to a different house, and I've cut up like 35 different boxes with the G10 version of this knife, right? Also 14C28N, and man, that thing still sliced paper perfectly. Now this is after a year's use, no sharpening, only stropping, right? That's it. So they do a phenomenal job with their 14C28N. So I think that is also a fantastic selling point and a reason why this knife became so popular. Let's take a look at the thumb studs here. So the thumb studs on this knife, they are both great and they are a negative in my opinion. So I like them, they're positive and they're negative. I like the thumb stud for your thumb flicking, right? That's great. It's easily accessible. I don't glide over it easily. It's just fine. It's good thumb stud. However, this thick thumb stud that doesn't offer you much grip because there's not really anything to grip on necessarily aside from the thumb stud, as opposed to something like the Arcalia, which got that little mold out sections that offers you some fantastic grip. When it comes to the reverse flick, I can do the reverse flick, and I usually pride myself on doing good reverse flicks, right? But it's a little bit uncomfortable, and sometimes I do slip over it. Um, so you really need to get up in there and sort of, yeah, it just takes a little bit of getting used to. But it's not the most comfortable thumb stud with regards to reverse flicking. However, thumb flicking, it is snappy, snappy, snappy. Now, the fantastic part about this knife, or another fantastic part with regards to deployment, is it does have a front flipper, which works very well, very, very, very well. And that's difficult to do, right? With the Kubi here, they've done also a fantastic job on their front flipping. However, sometimes it feels like the detent is just a little bit something to get used to. You sort of glide over this jumping quite easily. And yeah, it's just a lot of things that need to be perfect if you're going to make a good front flipping knife, because it can easily become uncomfortable. The detent can be too strong. It can be hard to do for people. Your jumping can be a little bit too shallow. But with this guy, yes, man, it is just freaking phenomenal. Just works so well. You can do all your little tricks. So if you want a front flipping knife, right? You're a beginner, you don't really know how to front flip. I don't want to say beginner, but you just struggle with front flipping, then this is definitely a good option, because this is a fantastic knife to sort of just learn on, and it just goes, man. It just goes. It's freaking next level. So yeah, definitely love that. Yes, the dual tone finish on this blade, I definitely enjoy. It's so cool just having that bead blast and then have this little belt satin finish run through the blade. It just looks great, man. I love that. Thumb studs, very nicely anodized blue, and matches the pivot collar very nice. And I definitely love that uniformity. This knife has a lot of uniformity in it. So we've got the bead blasted pocket clip, bead blasted liners, and then our bead blasted blade. Then we've got the bead blasted sort of hardware, the screws, the pivot, and the thumb studs, which also creates then a uniformity. So we've got the uniformity between the bead blast, the satin finish, and then the little bit of color that we have in the knife. We've got a black backspacer that disappears quite easily, and it does include a lanyard hole for your lanyard. So we don't have a complete flow-through construction, but this is a relatively small backspacer. It will pick up some grit and stuff, so you do need to clean that out every now and then, but not too bad, nothing too bad. The detent ball, I believe, is a ceramic detent ball, which is good because it will last pretty long, and you won't get your tang all etched up. Want to say carved up, right? So that's pretty cool. And then I have to say the jumping on this is done very well. However, the jumping is done very well, right? Offers you great grip for that front flipping. It's a winner, absolute winner. However, I would definitely extend it up to there, because this is probably the most comfortable knife I've held in my life, right? And that is another selling point and a reason why this knife has become so popular is, okay, let's be honest now, it's not the prettiest knife in the world, as at least to me. Okay, it sort of has a little bit of a banana look to it, the curve, but freaking hell, man, it is perfect for your hand. The way it curves, it just sits so comfortably in your hand. This cutout over here is a risk, right? It's a risk that they took here because different fingers have different sizes, and you don't know, is it gonna offer a hotspot, is it what's gonna do, but the risk paid off, right? And it creates just such a comfortable hold on this knife. The ergonomics it is second to none. I have never felt a knife more comfortable than this. This is just simply the truth. The PM2, right? Very comfortable knife to hold. Okay, this is like, they are very, very close together. But I think the PM2 has more grip, but the Jango has a lot of comfort. Oh my goodness, I would just want to sit here with this knife in my hand. But you see what I'm saying is, to access the jumping now, I do have to slide down and sort of choke down on the knife to get that access. And it's not that it reduces the comfort, but it is a little bit more comfortable up here. So just adding a little bit of jumping over there would be great for just some grip, because I'm missing the jumping completely in this choked up position on the knife. Yes, one thing I think this knife would be perfect for, right, as a folder, is to skinning bucks, skinning deer, pigs, whatever. I think this will be a tremendous skinner, because you can work hard and you can work for long hours with this knife, and it will remain comfortable. So yeah, fantastic ergonomics on this guy, probably the best I've felt. So yeah, that's just very, very nice. The weight on this guy is also just perfect. The balance is a little bit towards the back, so yeah, it's a little bit towards the back. If you're going to use it back here, it is perfect, right? But yeah, I think the balance is just okay. It's not uncomfortable at all to use, but it is more towards the back. So yes, it is on the heavier side. They did skeletonize the liner slightly. I don't think you guys will even be able to see that, but there we go. There's one slot there. There's so few of them. They have a few cutouts here at the back. Maybe you guys can see. I'm not sure. There we go. There's some light there. So there's some cutouts there. So yes, got a little bit of skeletonization going on, but nothing much. So the weight is about, I think, 115 grams, 110, 115 grams. So on the heavier side, but by no means a heavy knife or a too heavy knife to carry, right? Let's compare it just size-wise. Here's the Akal. You can see it is quite a lot bigger than the Akal, about a centimeter and a half. The Kubi Royal, it's a lot bigger than the Kubi Royal, about 2.5 centimeters. Delica from Spyderco, about 2.5 centimeters also. The Pickled Steel Capolavoro, made or designed by Miguel Etzel, about a centimeter and a half smaller compared to the PM2. Let's see what we've got here. PM2 is about a centimeter longer. So the Jango it definitely is a large knife, right? It's not in the medium class, it's definitely a large knife. Very, very comfortable. Guys, fantastic knife. You can't go wrong with this. I know the popularity on this guy, it's not misplaced. And it might seem like a little bit of a puffed up review, but there's not much to improve here, right? I'd say maybe add a little bit more grip to the thumb studs, or just remove this back thumb stud so people don't use it for reverse flicking. The pocket clip is very, very nice. Sits nice and tight in pocket. Not deep carry, it's a low ride experience, or low carry, high ride experience, right? Definitely love the fact that they didn't sink these screws. That was by design, right? They synced the pocket clip, but they didn't sink the screws. They used these epic looking cylinder type screws, which adds some nice grip when you're trying to take this out of your pocket, and just adds a little bit of flair to the knife overall. Just gives it something a little bit different, right? We have a T8 pivot, T6 screws, and yeah, man, it's wonderful. Nice grip here also on the backspacer, sits in your hand very nicely, creates that grip. Good size stopping pin. Durability on this guy is phenomenal, and the tolerance, being pickled steel quality, is just the best, man. It does run on ball bearings, so that is why it is so silky smooth. Man, lots and lots to love here. Guys, check out the Pickled Steel Jango. Have a fantastic day. Have a knife day. And remember that no knife means no life.